All right, we're back. Still here at the Mosaic Conference, getting a lot of the speakers in. I know some of you have watched some of those videos already. And so this is a 2025 Mosaic Conference happening right here in Threaded's hometown of Dallas, Texas. And so it's exciting to be here. We got lots of really great speakers and folks who've been on stage. One of the folks that was on stage just recently as we were trying to shoot, I heard him yelling and going after it. And I was like, I got to get my friend Efrem up here. So Efrem Smith is in the house today talking to us. Efrem, we're going to first give our audience a little bit of kind of what you do, and then I'll kind of drop
Sure.
a question on you there.
So I am the co-senior pastor of Midtown Church in Sacramento, California. We would call ourselves a multicultural, metropolitan, multi-campus church. Our main church is in the center of the city. I co-pastor with Susie Gomez, and then our founding pastor, Bob Ballion. It was his vision 15 years ago to plant that church. And I also co-own with my wife Influential LLC, where we're trying to influence Christ-centered, reconciling, justice-oriented, disciple-making churches in the urban and multi-ethnic context.
Yeah.
And so, that's a little bit about me.
That's a lot. How long have you been at this church? Long?
I've been there 8 years.
Okay.
I am originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
And I planted and pastored a church called The Sanctuary for close to 8 years. That church is still going and doing well. I left there because I ended up being a superintendent regionally for our denomination. And then I ran, I was the president of a urban missions organization called World Impact. And then I just started missing the local church.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, so I was honored to serve as a superintendent in the Evangelical Covenant Church. I was honored to be president of World Impact, but I just I missed something about being with people in the local church.
Wow.
And so I've been back at that for a little over 8 years.
I love it, and I know there's folks who watch these videos who are leaders in the local church. Some of them who do ministries as well. But I think they would be so excited to hear somebody go, "I miss the local church." I know there's folks who are in the church right now, and there's just so many things coming at them, particularly as they look at this conversation of what the world is talking about, what the church is talking about: multi-ethnic, multicultural church building, racial reconciliation, racial unity, racial justice, all these terms that are kind of be thrown around there. Here at the conference, we're talking about this idea of a 100-year movement, and we're in the sort of second quarter, this next 25 years. What are some of the things, or what would be a main thing, if you could think about it, that leaders need to be thinking about as they're moving into this work right now?
Yeah, well, the Mosaic Conference really celebrates, and the work that you do, it really can highlight the ways in which the church in the United States of America is more diverse than it's ever been in terms of people worshiping together on Sunday morning. But there's still some deep divides and disparities that exist in the nation that the church can still have a tremendous kingdom impact on. And so that's why, you hear me use terms like Christ-centered, reconciling, justice-oriented disciple makers, with a little more emphasis on that reconciliation and that justice-oriented piece, because you can become a very diverse church in a city, but yet still have very minimal, little impact on the social disparities that exist across race, across class, disparities within education, housing, employment. And so I'm very fortunate that I'm at a church that has become very diverse. I mean, I think we're 35% white, 30% black, 20% Latino, Latina, 10% various expressions of Asian, like Korean, Hmong, Japanese. So we've got diversity.
Yeah, sure.
But
a check. Right?
Yes.
Got that, but there's more. Yeah.
But we're also very committed to addressing issues of under-resourced public schools in our community.
Okay.
The unfortunate epidemic of the unhoused, and issues of mental health, mental illness. And so
talk to us a little bit. What is, you said you're committed to that. So what does that look like?
Yeah. So through a marketplace leader in our church, we launched a separate but partnered nonprofit called Be Encouraged.
Okay.
And through that, we purchased private shower trailers. And so every Monday morning, we have unhoused people that come to
Right.
our church. They're able to take private showers in
Sure.
dignity. We have hygiene kits. We give out food. But we also go out and we do the laundry of the unhoused.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we're advocating for affordable housing. And we also partner with Sacramento State University to provide trauma healing, therapy, counseling at low cost or no cost
Okay.
to folks. We also adopt under-resourced schools, and we've ran summer school programs, tutoring programs, because data shows that if young people in under-resourced communities are at grade level in math and reading between the 3rd and 5th grade,
Right.
they're very likely to go to college.
That's right.
But if they're not, they're very likely
to go to prison.
That's right.
That's right.
And so those are some of the ways in which we're saying we don't want to just be a diverse church.
Right.
We want to be a church that addresses disparities in our city.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think it's always the question that the church has to ask itself is like, if we did not exist, what would this community miss about us? And then also, like, how are we moving the needle on change in the community?
Yes.
Right? Not just, again, taking up space, taking up real estate, and creating a wonderful place for people to learn. And again, it goes back to Dr. King's idea about this idea of the church. If we don't start engaging this, we become this country club almost experience. So I think that's really wonderful. And I think it's helpful to hear like some of the things that you guys are doing. How big is your church?
Well, about 3,000.
Okay, so I just
In,
wanted
in
to
attendance.
Yeah,
there
sure.
might be more people that say, "Oh, I go there
yeah, I feel you.
on Easter."
Well, I wanted to set that stage because I know that there's people out there with smaller churches.
Yeah.
And so they're hearing what you're doing and they're trying to think, okay, so how can I do this if I got 100 people?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think, I know of churches that are smaller that are having a tremendous impact. So I recently visited a church in the Atlanta area. There are 100 or less.
Yeah.
But yet, because they're connected to their city council, because they're connected to their mayor, because they're connected to the park board, they've been able to reduce crime in their area. They've been able to advocate for affordable housing. They built a community park so that there was a safe place for kids to play. I'm thinking, okay, you're less than 100 people and you did all
Right.
that. And they said, yeah, because we have the right 100 people. They're like, if you have 100 people
That's right, it's Gideon, right?
that,
Yeah.
that understand their gifts, so I think of something like when I said we adopt a school,
Yeah.
right? Really, you just need some adults in your church
Yeah.
that can do math at the 3rd grade level.
Yeah,
You
right.
you need adults in your church that can read at the 5th grade level.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you can adopt a school
Sure.
in your neighborhood, so you don't have to be a mega church. You just have to be a missional church.
Yeah, that's a really good way to say that. And one of the things I've also seen is that it doesn't have to just be a single mega church adopting the school. There are probably, at least I know we experience it here, there's churches on every corner, right? Like, how do churches partner together even around that
that's
school?
great. I mean, associations, networks of churches.
Yes.
I talked about our company Influential, and one of the networks we partner with in Phoenix, Arizona is the African American Christian Clergy Coalition.
Yeah.
And
Can you say that really fast
The
again?
African American Christian Clergy Coalition. Black folks, we got to have
Hey,
all
got a
that.
lot of names, got to have all the words. Yes. Yeah.
So that's why we end up just saying stuff like CORE,
That's
SNCC, NAACP.
You're right. You're right.
So
Gotta
I
get it
think they
quick.
call themselves like AACCC.
That's right.
something
Yeah,
like that.
you can't even say AA anymore. You just got AACP. Yeah. All that
yeah,
stuff.
something like that. So that's an example of a network. There's a network in Los Angeles that we've been connected to called The Village, where, again, and even with us at Midtown, yeah, we're a large church, but it's not a great witness for people that aren't in church to see a fragmented, competitive church.
Sure.
And so, regardless of your size, I really believe in fellowship, networks, collaboration.
Yes.
Because it sends a greater message of God's kingdom.
Yeah.
A more authentic message,
Absolutely.
let's say.
Yeah. We created a 7-church coalition here years ago and partnered around a school, and I'll never forget just kind of interviewing the principal afterwards, because every year we would, what would happen is you got all these churches around the school, and they would keep asking the principal to meet to, hey, what can we do? What can we do? How can we help? Whatever.
Yeah.
And so she'd have to do like 8 meetings, you know what I mean? And we finally said, hey, let's just get us all together and bring her into one meeting, right? And then we ask, what is her vision? What is she trying to do? And how can we come alongside that?
Yeah.
And I remember we interviewed her several years later, and she cried as we were interviewing. She goes, she struggled with her own faith, and seeing multiple churches work together reignited her faith in God. Right? She had never seen it before, never thought the church would be that kind of cooperative space. She had only seen it to be competitive. And so, to your point, it just makes a better image for God out in the community. It's more of who we're called to be, the people of God, the family of God. We all have this cross on our churches, but if we don't work together, people are trying to think, okay, I see crosses, but is this like Burger King and McDonald's? Like you got the same meat, but the sauce is just a little different, but you don't seem to talk to each other. Yeah, I like that. Getting away from the competitive sense is really good.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
also like what she said. And I'm sure you guys must do this at Midtown too. Is you're utilizing not only the power in the church, but you're utilizing the power in the community as well.
Yes.
You were saying that this 100 church with the 100, they are leveraging the power that can make changes in their community.
Yeah.
They're going on. They're getting on the city council. They're getting on the school board. They're getting on the city boards, and they're advocating, and they're putting faith-rooted believers in places of power to make change and to ask questions that maybe others wouldn't do.
You mentioned Martin Luther King Jr. earlier, and what was so amazing about the civil rights movement is Dr. King and other pastors convincing otherwise subordinated second-class people of their giftedness.
Nice.
King used to call it, it's kind of the power of the human personality, that the image of God is on all persons.
Yeah.
And so whether you're a larger church or a smaller church, if you can help people, that idea of uplift and mobilizing people around the gifts, the worthiness, the value they already have, and you help them find their voice, they'll actually be the best instruments to bring change, transformation to a community.
Yeah, and that is I think that's one of the great takeaways from even our time here, from the idea of a leader and maybe a change in our posture, right? Instead of believing ourselves to be the ones to have the gifts to do it, how do we leverage those others? How do we help ignite that in other people? I think people will hear that and they'll hear it, yes, in your church, you want to ignite that, right? You want to be able to do that because it creates ministry that can flourish and go beyond the work that the leader does.
Yeah.
But then thinking about it even from an external idea too is, how do you help the people of your church learn how to ignite the gifts, help people in their community see that where their gifts exist. And I always hate saying and give them opportunities, but there's ways in which we do have privilege. And we have spaces that sometimes we do need to give people opportunity to use their gifts, and that helps them to grow in there and to train and to help them flourish. I think that's a beautiful posture that we have to have as the church, both internally and externally as well.
Yeah, we have to turn the scorecard for what faithfulness and fruitfulness looks like in the church.
Yeah.
I think before the height of the pandemic, the church was primarily measured by how many people came in and who they were coming to see.
Okay.
Now it's about what kind of people are going out
Yeah.
and what are they going to do.
That's right. That's right.
And so that has to be the new scorecard
That's great.
for the church. What kind of people are going out of that church building? Who are they going to be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
I love
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, you get it all. Man, Pastor, this is good. I'm hoping everybody is gleaning this wonderful wisdom in the midst of this. Pastor Smith, so good. Love watching your career continue to go. Love that you're back in the church. We need leaders like you who love the people, love the church, believe in what God is doing, and use your gifts to do it. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man.